Wife asked her husband to put on sunscreen before she allowed him to go into the sea alone. She waited an hour for him to come ashore. She couldn't get through on the phone. Worried, the woman asked all the tourists on the beach, but no one said they'd seen him. Suddenly, she was afraid that her husband had drowned. She rushed to get the beach supervisors to help her, but after searching the sea for half a day, she didn't find anything unusual. 3 hours had passed since her husband disappeared. She had to go to the police station to report the case, but the police laughed out loud, because Lena said her husband didn't take his bank cards or his $500,000 watch. The police decided that nothing had happened. They just took a quick note and sent her back to wait for the notification. The wait lasted a month. Lena went to the place where her husband disappeared every day, but he never showed up again. But this night, while she was at the hotel, she received a phone call. She was so excited that she thought it was her husband, but it turned out to be a sales call from the hotel. By now, the summer holidays were over. She had to go back to school to teach her students, but she didn't realize that the safety officer she'd asked for help on the beach was her new student. As soon as Bob saw her, he started talking to her. He even invited her to dinner and a show. Lena quickly realized he was trying to impress her, so she refused. She only allowed him to be a casual friend, because she was convinced that her husband was still alive. Rather than turn down the millionaire introduced by her best friend, she went home and watched her husband's past video memories. That day, she suddenly found her husband chatting with a mysterious woman in the data he left behind at a company party, and the woman's expression was very special. Her intuition told Lena that there might be something wrong with this woman. Dare she say it might have something to do with her husband's disappearance? But she'd never seen this woman before, so she called her best friend to identify her. She didn't recognize her either. After a lot of trouble, Lena calmed down and thought she was overthinking it, so she didn't pursue the mystery woman any further. But the next day, she received a call from the police officer. She got a call from the police saying they'd fished out a man's body and asked her to identify the husband. Unfortunately, Lena found out that it wasn't her husband at all. The police officer on the case felt sorry for her, so he gave her a direction. They said there was a case where the husband suddenly disappeared, but he suddenly came home after 6 months. In the meantime, he'd been having fun with his mistress. Maybe your husband could be one of them. Lena was furious. She said, we've been married for 5 years and we've always been in love. Besides, he's a kind man. He's not that kind of person. She went home immediately, but the policeman's words echoed in her ears and she couldn't sleep. She couldn't help but think of the mysterious woman in the video. This time, she realized that when she took the photo with her husband, the woman was staring at him, and she had a very angry look on her face. Lena couldn't help but suspect that she was a rival. Rushing through her husband's clothes, she found a bill for a $40,000 diamond bracelet. Then she went to the bank and was told that her husband had withdrawn a large sum of money a month and a half ago, but she remembers her husband saying that there was no money on the card. She was puzzled when an investigator suddenly came to her door. He told her that her husband might be involved in a financial offense of embezzlement. This made Lena even more puzzled, but still cooperated with the investigation.